Throughout history, many famous black individuals have had to live with the secret of their sexual orientation, especially those who were gay. The pressure from society, culture, and strict norms forced them to conceal their true selves until their deaths. Their stories are not only personal struggles, but also serve as a testament to the necessary change in how we perceive and accept sexual and gender diversity in all communities. These individuals shaped their culture and careers, even though the truth about their personal lives was only revealed many years later. Leave a comment with the number 1 and join us in this video to explore black celebrities who passed away and feared revealing their same-sex relationships. Billie Holiday, affectionately known as Lady Day, was a jazz legend with an emotionally rich and deeply expressive voice that redefined music. Born in 1915 in Philadelphia, she overcame a childhood filled with poverty and hardship, finding solace in music. In the 1930s, her unique style captivated audiences, and songs like Strange Fruit, a powerful condemnation of racial discrimination, pushed the boundaries of jazz and sparked important conversations about social justice. Through her music, Holiday expressed both personal and societal struggles, creating a lasting legacy of resilience. Her artistry, laden with themes of pain and strength, resonated deeply with listeners, leaving an indelible mark on the music world. Her personal life mirrored the intensity of her music. Billie Holiday experienced tumultuous relationships with both men and women, reflecting a complex personal journey. Although she never publicly discussed her sexuality, her romantic life demonstrated a complexity and fluidity that echoed the raw emotions expressed in her songs. Despite her extraordinary talent, Billie Holiday struggled throughout her life with addiction and health issues, passing away in 1959 at the age of 44. Nevertheless, her legacy endures, and her influence continues to inspire generations of artists and listeners alike. Richard Pryor was a legendary artist whose life was filled with contradictions that shaped his iconic legacy. Born in 1940 in Peoria, Illinois, Pryor endured a tumultuous childhood, raised by his grandmother in a brothel where chaos and hardship were part of everyday life. Pryor turned his troubled past into material for his comedy, delivering stand-up performances that candidly addressed his battles with addiction, mental health, and tumultuous relationships. In the 1970s and 1980s, his career soared as he fearlessly tackled sensitive topics such as race, drugs, politics, and his own flaws, captivating audiences with his raw and profound honesty. However, when it came to his sexuality, Pryor was largely private. Although he was married 5 times, he hinted at having relationships with men in his comedy routines, blurring the lines between truth and performance. Many years after his death, music legend Quincy Jones revealed that Pryor had a romantic relationship with actor Marlon Brando, a detail later confirmed by his widow, Jennifer Lee Pryor. She shared that he had openly discussed his sexual orientation with close friends and even documented these relationships in his personal diaries. Pryor never publicly acknowledged his sexual orientation, likely due to societal pressures and fear of backlash. When he passed away in 2005 after a long battle with multiple sclerosis, Pryor left behind a legacy not just of humor, but also of breaking social boundaries. However, his personal life remains shrouded in mystery, with his relationships with men being one of the few secrets of his life that have been almost fully revealed. James Baldwin was not only a writer, but also a voice for the forgotten. Born in Harlem in 1924, Baldwin grew up in a strict religious family with a stepfather who was a preacher. Although Baldwin considered a religious path, his true passion was literature. In the 1940s, Baldwin left the United States for Paris, where he could confront issues of race and sexuality without the harsh judgment of American society. Baldwin's works were revolutionary, addressing issues of race, sexuality, and identity with unapologetic honesty. His novel, Giovanni's Room, 1956, addressed same-sex love in a rare and transformative way, becoming a foundational work in LGBTQ+ literature. While Baldwin's works reflected his thoughts on sexuality, he kept his personal life private, choosing to let his characters speak for him rather than publicly disclose his own identity. Confronting both racism and homophobia, Baldwin remained steadfast in his mission to speak the truth and fight for his rights. He passed away in 1987, leaving behind a literary legacy that serves as a testament to the courage of facing societal challenges. Paul Winfield first rose to prominence in the 1970s with his role as Nathan Lee Morgan in the film Sounder, 1972, for which he received an Academy Award nomination. Winfield's performance was both powerful and vulnerable, earning him praise and solidifying his position as one of Hollywood's top black stars. He continued to prove his talent through his portrayal of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in the miniseries King, 1978. Despite his immense success, Winfield kept his personal life private, particularly his sexuality, as Hollywood in the 1970s and 1980s was not friendly to openly gay actors, especially black men. Winfield lived his life very privately, to the extent that he even dated his Sounder co-star, Cicely Tyson, for a time to avoid attention and speculation. Close friends knew that Winfield was gay. His longest and most significant relationship was with architect Charles Gillen Jr., an interracial relationship that they kept hidden. The death of Charles in 2002 had a profound impact on Winfield, who was already struggling with declining health. Winfield passed away in 2004 from a heart attack, leaving behind a legacy of quiet resilience. Sylvester James Jr. was a prominent figure in the disco wave of the 1970s, known for his bold style, powerful falsetto voice, and magnetic presence. Born in Los Angeles in 1947, Sylvester began his music career singing in church choirs as a child. However, his religious background conflicted with his emerging identity, and it wasn't until he moved to San Francisco that Sylvester found a space to fully embrace his true self within the city's vibrant LGBTQ+ community. San Francisco became the backdrop for Sylvester's rise to fame, with his hit song You Make Me Feel Mighty Real, becoming an anthem of self-expression and freedom. Although he was open about his sexuality, Sylvester kept his personal relationships private, often reflecting on the internal struggle between his conservative roots and his journey towards self-acceptance. While his fame was relatively short-lived, as disco began to fade in the early 1980s, Sylvester's influence never waned. He became an ardent advocate for LGBTQ+ rights, especially as the AIDS epidemic devastated his community. Sylvester himself contracted HIV and passed away in 1988 at the age of 41. Luther Vandross had a voice that was unmistakable, filled with deep emotion and soothing power that made him a legend in the world of R&B. Born in New York City in 1951, he became famous with hits like Never Too Much and Dance with My Father, captivating millions and selling over 40 million records worldwide. His legacy was built on love and passion, touching the hearts of listeners across generations. Despite his immense success, Vandross kept his personal life shielded from the public eye. Unlike many other stars, he never publicly acknowledged any romantic relationships, leading to much speculation about his sexuality. His close friend, Patti LaBelle, later shared that Vandross was afraid of alienating his loyal female fans, who found comfort and romance in his music. And he also wanted to protect his mother from any potential controversies. His friend and collaborator, Bruce Vilanch, recalled that Vandross had admitted to living a double life, concealing his true self in an industry where being openly gay, especially as a black man, could bring many risks. Luther Vandross passed away in 2005 due to complications from a stroke, leaving behind a deeply emotional musical legacy. Nell Carter was best known for her role as the housekeeper Nell Harper in the popular 1980s sitcom Give Me a Break, but her talent extended far beyond this role. Born in 1948, Carter began her career in theater, captivating audiences with her powerful voice and unique charm. She won a Tony Award for her performance in the musical Ain't Misbehavin' thanks to her exceptional singing abilities. Despite her fame, Carter faced many personal struggles, including health issues like diabetes and obesity, as well as multiple miscarriages before deciding to adopt 3 children. Carter was married twice, but it was only after her death in 2003 that it was revealed her closest relationship was with her longtime partner, Ann Kaser, who had lived with Carter for many years. Ann shared a deep, more than just friendship, relationship with Carter in their Beverly Hills home. After Carter's sudden death at the age of 54, it was discovered that she had left her entire estate to Ann and had named her as the guardian of her children. This revelation shocked many and highlighted the significant role Ann played in Carter's life, a relationship that Carter had kept private, but one that was deeply meaningful. Whitney Houston was not just a star, but a legend, whose powerful voice and dazzling beauty helped shape pop music for decades. With over 200 million records sold, 6 Grammy Awards, and iconic hits like I Will Always Love You and Greatest Love of All, her influence on the music industry is undeniable. In 2023, Rolling Stone honored her as the 2nd greatest singer of all time, a testament to her lasting impact on music. However, beneath the glitter and success, Whitney Houston's life was marked by deep struggles. She battled addiction for many years, a fight that ultimately led to her tragic death in 2012. In addition, Whitney Houston's close relationship with her longtime friend Robin Crawford sparked much speculation, as the two shared a deep connection dating back to their teenage years. While Whitney was publicly associated with high-profile relationships, her friendship with Crawford remained a mystery to many. In 2019, in her memoir, Crawford revealed that their relationship had been romantic. This relationship was kept secret, influenced by Whitney's religious beliefs and the pressures of her public image. For a famous black woman, living openly with her sexual identity was a significant challenge in that era. Sherman Hemsley made a lasting mark on television with his role as George Jefferson in The Jeffersons, one of the first shows to feature a wealthy African-American family. His portrayal of George Jefferson, an outspoken and charismatic character, became iconic, earning Hemsley a large fan base throughout the 1970s and 1980s. With his sharp comedic timing and strong presence, Hemsley became one of the standout stars of his era. However, his real-life personality was quite different, shy, reserved, and extremely private. Throughout his career, Hemsley remained single and kept his personal life out of the spotlight, leading to rumors about his sexual orientation. Despite the rumors that circulated for many years, Sherman Hemsley never publicly addressed them and instead focused on his work. After his death in 2012 from lung cancer, close friends, including actor Garrett Morris, confirmed that Hemsley was gay and had chosen to keep that part of his life private. Morris, who had appeared on The Jeffersons, shared in an interview that Hemsley's close-knit circle of friends knew about his sexual orientation, but respected his desire for privacy. Hemsley's life highlights the unique challenges faced by black gay men in Hollywood, especially during the 1970s and 1980s. His quiet strength in navigating these challenges remains an important part of his legacy. Billy Strayhorn may not be as widely recognized as some of his peers, but his influence in the jazz world is undeniable. As the right-hand collaborator of Duke Ellington, Strayhorn was behind some of Ellington's most famous compositions. If you've ever heard Take the A Train, you've already experienced Strayhorn's talent. Born in 1915, Strayhorn grew up in difficult circumstances, but his passion for music helped him overcome those challenges. At the age of 23, he joined Ellington's band, beginning an extraordinary collaborative partnership that would leave a lasting impact on the world of jazz. Strayhorn was not only a talented composer and pianist, but also a pioneer for the LGBTQ+ community in the world of music. In an era where publicly being gay could end a career, Strayhorn lived authentically within the jazz community, even though he maintained a relatively low public profile. Those close to him knew about his relationships with men, and he lived his life on his own terms. Sadly, Strayhorn passed away in 1967 at the age of 51 from esophageal cancer. While he may not have achieved the mainstream fame of Duke Ellington, Strayhorn's contributions have left a profound mark on American music. Octavia Estelle Butler was a literary legend. Not only was Butler one of the most influential Black authors in the science fiction genre, but she was also one of the most impactful writers in literature as a whole. Born in 1947, Butler carved out her own path in a genre that was not particularly welcoming to women, and even less so to Black women. Through her groundbreaking novels like Kindred and Parable of the Sower, she shattered barriers, blending speculative fiction with profound themes of race, gender, and power. Butler was notoriously private about her personal life, which has led to much speculation about her sexual orientation. Although she never publicly identified as part of the LGBTQ+ community, those close to Butler have suggested that she may have been a lesbian. Her stories resonate across generations, inspiring countless writers, particularly women of color, who find in her work a powerful blueprint for storytelling in science fiction. Since her passing in 2006, her influence has only grown, solidifying her status as a pioneer and literary legend. Her works continue to challenge, inspire, and transcend the boundaries of speculative fiction. Phyllis Hyman was a singer with a truly unique voice. Her deep alto resonated with an emotional depth that could move anyone who listened. Songs like You Know How to Love Me and Living All Alone became timeless classics, securing Hyman's place as a beloved figure in the hearts of R&B and jazz fans worldwide. Her stage presence was always magnetic, and her music continues to leave a profound mark on listeners to this day. However, behind the powerful performances, Hyman faced deeply personal struggles. She battled bipolar disorder and depression throughout her life, often turning to alcohol and drugs to cope with the emotional pain. Although Phyllis Hyman was a famous and beloved figure, she was open about the mental health challenges she faced, discussing the emotional turmoil that she had to endure throughout her life. Tragically, Hyman passed away in 1995, just days before her 46th birthday, leaving her fans heartbroken. After her death, it was revealed that Hyman had relationships with both men and women, including a long-term relationship believed to be with musician Tina Clark. While she never publicly identified as bisexual, those close to her suggested that her relationships with women were an important part of her life. Ma Rainey, known as the Mother of the Blues, was one of the first professional blues singers and one of the first Black artists to record her music. Born in 1886, Rainey had a powerful voice and her performances were raw, emotional, and captivating. However, Rainey's legacy extends beyond her music. She was also a pioneer in openly expressing her love for women through her songs, at a time when such openness was rare. Rainey courageously sang about her romantic relationships with women, challenging social norms and breaking down barriers. Although she was married to a man for much of her life, Ma Rainey did not hide her same-sex relationships, often incorporating them into both her music and personal expression. Her openness about her sexual orientation made her a trailblazer, paving the way for future LGBTQ+ artists to live authentically, both in their lives and their art. Though she passed away in 1939, Ma Rainey's influence endures, inspiring countless artists and reminding us of the power of courage and self-expression. Bessie Smith, affectionately known as the Empress of the Blues, was one of the most influential figures in American music. Born in 1894 in Chattanooga, Tennessee, she rose from poverty to become one of the leading forces in the blues genre during the 1920s and 1930s, a time when the genre was largely dominated by male artists. With her powerful voice and iconic songs like Downhearted Blues and Nobody Knows You, when you're down and out, Bessie became a symbol of resilience, resonating deeply with her audience. On stage, Bessie was a captivating presence, drawing in crowds with her commanding charisma and raw emotional intensity. Bessie Smith became a famous vaudeville star, known for her dramatic style and deep emotional energy. As a bisexual woman in an era of limited acceptance, Bessie lived openly, having relationships with both men and women. Despite societal expectations and prejudices, Bessie's quiet defiance made her an icon of LGBTQ+ representation in the arts, living authentically in a world that often scrutinized her choices. Though her life was tragically cut short in a car accident in 1937, Bessie's legacy endures, paving the way for future artists and inspiring musicians such as Janis Joplin and Nina Simone. Barbara Jordan was a pioneering figure in American history, known for her unwavering dedication to civil rights and her historic role in politics. Born in 1936 in Houston, Texas, she overcame the challenges of racial discrimination to become the first black woman elected to the Texas State Senate since Reconstruction. Her journey continued in 1972 when she was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives, marking a significant milestone for both women and black Americans in government. Her remarkable oratorical skills captured the nation's attention, particularly during the 1974 Watergate hearings, where her call for the impeachment of President Nixon resonated deeply across the country. Her famous speech at the 1976 Democratic National Convention further solidified her influence, making her one of the most important voices in American politics. In her personal life, Jordan shared a private but enduring relationship with her partner, Nancy Earl, for over 30 years. Despite facing the challenges of multiple sclerosis and leukemia, she continued her work in public service, advocating for progressive principles until her death in 1996. Moms Mabley was a pioneer in the field of comedy, laying the groundwork for future generations of female comedians with her bold humor and unapologetic straightforwardness. Born in 1894, she rose to prominence in a male-dominated comedy world, captivating audiences with her distinctive image, bright-colored dresses, a toothless smile, and sharp, candid jokes about social issues. She began her career on the vaudeville stage and gradually became a familiar face on television shows like The Ed Sullivan Show in the 1960s, where her comedic style spread widely. In her personal life, Jackie was open about her sexual orientation, maintaining relationships with women, a revolutionary stance at a time when being openly gay was rare. She faced two major barriers, racism and sexism in her career, but she was unstoppable, using her courage both on stage and off to break down boundaries for LGBTQ+ comedians. Her performances continued until she was nearly 80, and May proved that laughter has no age. She passed away in 1975, but her influence lives on, inspiring comedians with her bold spirit and strong sense of humor. Little Richard was a legendary rock and roll icon known for his bold style and magnetic charisma, revolutionizing music forever. Born in 1932 in Macon, Georgia, he rose to fame in the 1950s with hit songs like Tutti Frutti and Long Tall Sally. However, he was more than just a rock star. He was a trailblazer in blending gospel, rhythm and blues, and rock, creating an electrifying new sound that resonated with audiences. His energetic piano playing and electrifying performances captivated fans and inspired future legends from Elvis Presley to Prince. In addition to his music, Little Richard is notable for his openness about his sexuality during a time of deep conservatism. He navigated complex relationships with both men and women, using his flamboyant image and empowering lyrics to challenge societal norms. His openness made him a quiet icon for the LGBTQ+ community, especially significant in an era when such expressions were rare. Though he paused his music career to focus on his faith, Little Richard eventually returned to the stage, reaffirming his place as a pivotal figure in rock history. When he passed away in 2020, he left a profound legacy, inspiring us to live boldly and authentically. Bayard Rustin was an often overlooked hero in the civil rights movement, renowned for his exceptional organizational skills and unwavering commitment to equality. Born in 1912, Rustin was the architect behind the historic 1963 March on Washington, where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his famous "I Have a Dream" speech. While dedicating his life to justice, Rustin also faced discrimination due to his sexuality, in an era when openly identifying as gay was rare and often stigmatized. He chose to live authentically, overcoming both social and personal struggles. His strategic vision, intellect, and ability to unite diverse groups made him an indispensable figure in the movement. Despite facing these challenges, Rustin remained a key player in advancing civil rights and social change. Although he often shied away from the spotlight due to the prejudices of his time, Bayard Rustin was also a tireless advocate for social justice, labor rights, and peace. His contributions began to be more widely recognized only after his death in 1987, as people came to understand the vast impact he had on the civil rights movement and beyond. Today, Rustin is honored as a trailblazer, both in the fight for civil rights and in the visibility of the LGBTQ+ community. His life serves as a powerful reminder that true courage lies in fighting for justice while embracing one's own identity. Josephine Baker was not just a talented performing artist, but also a pioneer in many ways. Born in St. Louis, Missouri in 1906 and raised in poverty, Baker overcame numerous life challenges to rise to international stardom. In the 1920s, she moved to Paris, where she quickly captivated audiences worldwide with her unique dance style and undeniable charisma. She became famous for her role in La Revue Negre, and the French embraced her, making her an international icon. With sold-out performances at the Folies Bergère, she broke down barriers, paving the way for Black artists to shine on stage. Offstage, Josephine Baker's life was filled with bravery and humanitarian efforts. During World War II, she worked as a spy for the French resistance, using her fame to gather intelligence against Nazi Germany. Later, Upon returning to the United States, she became a strong supporter of the civil rights movement, frequently refusing to perform for segregated audiences. However, Baker kept her personal life private. She was married multiple times and adopted 12 children. She also had romantic relationships with women, including a rumored connection with Mexican artist Frida Kahlo. Despite these relationships, Baker chose to keep this part of her life hidden, fully aware of the risks of publicly acknowledging her sexuality during that time. She passed away in 1975, leaving behind a legacy not only as a legendary artist, but also as a symbol of resilience and the fight for human rights. Her influence continues to resonate to this day. Thank you for requesting the translation. I hope that through the stories of famous Black individuals who kept their sexuality hidden until their deaths, you can gain a deeper understanding of the struggles they faced throughout their careers and personal lives. These stories not only reflect personal challenges but also represent an important part of cultural and political history, highlighting the need for respect and acceptance of gender diversity in society.